Hey everyone, I'm here with Jev Martel for an interview about self-marriage. Jev, thanks so much for being here.
Yay, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to hear about your self-marriage today, and you brought photos for us to see, so I can't wait to show all of our watchers those photos as well. And I want to start with the first question of what inspired you to marry yourself?
To be honest, it was just years and years of self-hate and trying to conform to the beauty standards out there and all of the things that we're told to the molds that we're told to fit into. And over the years, I had been just constantly changing myself, trying to be accepted and, not be abandoned and not be rejected by people and just conforming to things that just were totally away from my soul. And I just feel like there was this pull happening to me in 2019 that was like forcing me to shift through all of that. And so come 2019, I noticed I was like, F the makeup. I didn't really want to wear makeup anymore. I didn't really want to follow all these standards that we're told we're supposed to do and spend all this money on all this stuff. And then, yeah, the summer of 2019 was when I decided to like stop shaving, stop wearing makeup, stop dyeing my hair, just like everything that was basically going to have me spend money on the beauty standards industry, I said no to. And then weirdly, so like I'm very spiritually connected to the spirit world, and I was starting to get a lot of messages from my spirit guides. And so one really strong message came through, and it was about me marrying myself and solidifying all of this. And so I said, you know what, F it, I'm doing it. And so that's how it started. And then I started working through all of the inner makings of making it happen and planning like
Let me interrupt because I want to know about the moment when the message came through.
I was actually at a friend's wedding. Yeah. And I'm trying to like not say the love of my life because I recognize that that's just a block, but he was a very strong love of my life to a car accident when he was 20. And so that like shifted through, and he comes to me in crows. So, and I'm very aware of when crows are around me. And so that day at their wedding, the crows were silent all day. And when they started saying, it was, I can't remember, I have it written down somewhere, but it was a poem that they had said throughout at the beginning before their wedding vows. And the crows just all, like, there was like probably 15 of them that just cawed the entire time that they were speaking their vows. And then I got the messages really strongly from all three of the voices. And I'm not crazy. It's like sounds like I'm crazy, but it's like I have three really apparent people that I've lost in my life that come to me, and I could just sense that message was coming through. And
Yeah.
then I started working more through that. And then they started sending more confirmations and more messages via powerful dreams that I was getting and all of that kind of stuff. And then I was like, in my head, like, I'm not doing this. This is kind of weird. And then very quickly after, was like, no, I'm definitely marrying myself. This is definitely me solidifying that I am worthy and I don't need to be accepted by somebody that I'm trying to conform, try and keep around and all of that. And so that was in June that message, the first time that message came through. And then that summer, I started getting consecutively more messages.
And
And my
what
original day was going to be in August. The full moon in August was going to be the day that I chose. And then I decided it was like the day that I had planned to do it. I got really sick, was at a dentist appointment and got like really sick from my dentist appointment. Just like felt really tired and lethargic because I had to deal with like a bunch of fillings and all that kind of stuff. And so I changed my mind and ended up deciding, because I'm a water element Scorpio at heart for sure. And I ended up deciding to wait until I was near the ocean, because I was heading off on my cross Canada tour in September, and so I changed the date randomly.
I love that. You just said,
On
nope,
full
this
moon.
date's out, new date's in.
Yeah, for the following full moon, and then I did it on the next full moon. So I actually celebrate two wedding days.
Love
Yeah.
the initial wedding day and then the actual wedding day.
Yes, no, I celebrate the full moon. Okay, so the September 14th was the harvest moon in September of 2019. And then now I celebrate because the full moon always changes. So it's never going to always be on September 14th. And so now I celebrate the full moon, the harvest full moon in September every year as well as September 14th. So I celebrate 2 days.
I love
I'm
that.
allowed to because I married myself and there's no freaking rules.
Yes, yes, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Whatever I
Like
want.
your rules, yeah. I love that. I also got married in the autumn,
Yeah.
and there's something so abundant about the harvest moon. I can just imagine you out there with this abundant autumn feast celebrating self-love. Oh, it's
Oh yeah.
sounds amazing.
And it was just perfect that it lined up to when I was going to be by the ocean.
Hmm.
So I was like, absolutely, for sure, this is where I need to be instead of like the hustle bustle energy of the city life. Like, and I could have made it a beautiful ceremony out here in the city as well. I know that, but the ocean just totally spoke to me. So it all worked out perfectly. And I love the date that I chose. I love it. It's all part of it.
So good. So you drove cross country. Does that mean that you weren't able to have guests at your wedding, or did you bring them or include them in some other way?
No, I have a few friends that still kind of would like me to do a ceremony where, like on like another day or whatever, like same day, but just bringing them along with the journey. But I honestly just married myself by myself. It was just me. I was able to spiel, like I have the vows that are a little bit more short form for today, but I spieled. Like I literally just let myself write and say whatever I wanted to say to myself. Like I was in this moment for a really long time and I just had this like really special day with just me. There was nobody else around and that's how I wanted to celebrate it. And I did the whole, like I have all my rings that were always on the one hand and I took them all off and I moved them. Like I had the whole thing and it was so beautiful for me, but I actually loved that nobody else was around for me to do it.
Yes. And I'm curious about that because I'm going to share my screen and show some of your pictures. Because you still managed to get these really great photos. I mean, this one I think is a selfie. So,
Yeah.
yeah, selfie. But what about this one? Who took this one?
So one of my friends took that one and it was, again, I was like, just wanting to show like my armpit hair because I'm like, yeah, I'm a hairy woman and I love it. Natural woman at heart. So one of my friends, Lucy, took that one and we just had kind of a day where I had asked her to come and get some shots for that. And that was actually on my anniversary, but I was just re-wearing that dress.
And you said that this dress was really important to you. Say a little bit more about what it meant.
So it's because it's interesting. I feel like most people would think of like a big ball gown or like a big fancy dress to wear on their self marriage day. But I chose this one because it is got the vibrant colors because I am very vibrant and colorful and just love expressing myself in colorful ways. But as with everybody, I have faced some pretty intense darkness in my life and I've dealt with and done a lot of shadow work. So I loved like the black in this as well. And I, being somebody that was constantly struggling with like eating disorders and self-image stuff, the fact that it hugs my curves was kind of really important to me as well. Because normally on any day that I don't feel, I don't know, like I fit the mold, I would wear like a baggier dress or something that was more flowing or like the baby dolls. And so I chose something that was form fitting and I was bloated the day that I got married to myself and was like, no, you're still wearing this freaking dress.
Nice, nice. You love yourself even when you're bloated. I think us women need to hear that often.
It happens all the time. Like, what are we trying? It's just silly. We shift all days, every day. It's like we're constantly fluctuating. Just love ourselves at each stage and stop trying to fit the box that we're not meant to fit in anyways. Like I don't belong in that box, so stop trying to tell me that that's where I belong. And that was a huge thing that I was like working through. Like I just don't belong in that box and that box irritates me. Like
Yes. Yes. Well, while we're on the topic of the things that you wore, let's check out your wedding ring. So tell us more about the ring that you picked out.
I love this ring. Love it so much. I had the triangle represents a lot to me. So I had been looking at other rings that had like triangles with it. But every time I was almost about to buy the ring, I'd get like a message come through from one of my spirit guides. It was like, nope. And I kept hearing no, like every time I was about to buy another ring, like, nope, nope. And then I came across this one and it was like a ding, 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 like you got it. And I love it because of the polarities in the triangles. So you've got one pointing up and one pointing down. The one pointing up is like pointing to the greatness above. The one pointing down is pointing to me. So that's my connection with the spirit world, my connection with God, with the universe, just all of that. The one pointing up represents masculine energy. The triangle pointing down represents feminine energy, which everybody has the balance of both. And then the one pointing up represents fire element, and the one pointing down represents a water element. And I am equal parts of both. And it's like the yin yang polarities of life, and just like the balance that we all kind of need to work with and all of that. And the color white represents completion. So I just feel like the color white was like the perfect color for me to choose, because I feel like I hit that. I'm complete. Like I don't, and this is not to sound like, oh, I don't need anybody to complete me, but like I don't need anybody to complete me.
Yeah.
I am complete and whole as I am. And any relationship dynamic, friendship, partner, friends, family, whatever, like I complete me. You don't need to do any of that work. I will dive into it, and you're just a bonus in my life. So that, I love the ring. It resonates with me every single time I need to kind of like remind myself, or if I'm thrown out of a loop, because things kind of take us out every now and again. I feel like it just reminds me of, no, your connection to your soul is the number one right now.
Yeah. And so these little triangles they're white.
Yeah.
What are they made out of?
Honestly, I don't remember. They're not diamond or anything like that, or like a crystal. It's literally just like I think it's just a ceramic ring, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So like, again, and I didn't want to be spending. I don't like that our society does a good job of making us feel like we need to spend tons of money on things. So for me, I was like, I just wanted something that represented what I wanted it to represent. And it was, still $100 ring, but it wasn't like I was going to be spending $1,500 on a ring or anything like that. It's important to me. And I already know that if for some reason it breaks or I lose it or something happens, I already know the next ring that I'm going to be getting. So it is not fully exactly like this. And that's what I love about it, is I'm allowed to change my mind whenever I decide I want to. And I love that.
So good. So good.
But this one is definitely staying with me for a while. Like I will let it break on me when it needs to break, but my choice is definitely this ring right now.
Love it. And while we're looking at photos, let's show the next couple of photos, which are so great. And what I love about these is that you're so clearly committed to carrying through the spirit of your self-marriage in something like this amazing photo shoot. So share with the viewers about what this photo shoot is all about.
This one, and honestly, I could have shared so many more. I wanted to, so I love the dress that I chose, but I also really love the color red. And so I wanted to kind of have that like fun wedding day vibe as well. So we just went to a thrift store, and and again, like the thrift store prom dresses and wedding dresses can still be pretty pricey. So I made a deal with the thrift store person being like, can I just rent this dress?
Wow, cool.
So I basically just spent like, I think, and she ended up telling me to just like, she was just going to give it to me for a really cheap price, but I did return the dress for them to sell again. But I spent $15 on this prom dress. So I got my anniversary was in a prom dress, which is totally fine. And I love it. And it kind of reminds me of the actual prom dress that I'd had back in the day with like the little bell bustles at the bottom. But yeah, so I went out with one of my good girlfriends and asked her to take some pictures of me. And we're by the ocean. So it was a different ocean than the original day that I got married, because this was in PEI. But I love the coastlines here. I just love the energy that I have in these. And we just had so much fun playing. We were down on different dirt roads and exploring and just capturing the essence of like a lot of the cheesy pictures. Cheesy. I'm not judging anybody that does these pictures because okay, I get it. But I wanted to kind of capture some of those moments too. So we've got some of the ones where like the dress is like spread totally around me and I'm in the middle, and like, so we had fun with it.
So fun. I'm guessing you didn't tell them when you rented the dress that you'd be off-roading.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. Although she did know that I was getting married to myself and we were doing anniversary wedding shoot, and she was kind of like, it's interesting.
I love it. I love it. It's funny you say that. I feel like certain people get really excited about the idea of self-marriage. I was just interviewing another woman this morning who said that when she took her ring to the ring maker, he got so excited about the idea of self-marriage that he did the work for free.
Oh, I love that.
So who knows whether she would have rented one of her dresses to someone else, but apparently, she was intrigued by your self-marriage. I love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like she also had like a little bit of that energy of like just curiosity, because I feel like it can go one of two ways when you do the self-marriage thing. It's like you can have people that are fully for it, like that is the coolest thing ever. And then you have the people that are kind of like, I don't want to say that they question it or they judge it or anything, but they almost have like a little bit of like, are you marrying yourself because you're jaded and you've had bad things happen to you in relationships, so you're choosing you? And they don't understand. And maybe, you know what, there might actually be some people that do choose that route. Yeah. But I just feel like there's so many more avenues to what it actually means.
Yes, agreed. And there's also just downright haters. I'm curious how you deal with people that are questioning it, and maybe not necessarily in the kindest way. How do you deal with those skeptics?
I honestly haven't dealt with a lot of skeptics. The stuff that I've honestly dealt more with was me trying to get out of the box of the beauty standards. So the self-marriage thing was not something I really had many skeptics around. Maybe a couple aunts and uncles, but even then, I think that it's just more the curiosity, because they're so like from a small town, they're used to, you get married, you have the big wedding, they want to be there, the whole shebang. And honestly, I kind of sometimes think that maybe it would be nice to do that and have them be part of it and have them hear my vows to myself, so that maybe they actually understand that a bit more. But yeah, most of mine has not been about the marriage thing. It's been more about the woman who actually wants to just rock in her natural beauty, opposed to trying to conform. And I just feel like we live in this weird, creepy pedophilia society that makes women feel like they need to shave off their body parts to be hairless like babies. And that's just creepy to me. And I get it. Everybody do your own thing. It's been in our society for over 100 years now. But to me, that was a layer that I really wanted to stop supporting. So yeah. I rock my body hair, and I have more confidence now than I've ever had in my whole entire life. And so some people will look and they'll make their comments. Very little. I think I've had a total of like 3 people make negative comments though, but I've had maybe one person like question the self-love. So like it's been pretty positive. People might think they're things, but they don't actually say anything. I think for the most part, people mind their business when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned your vows. I wonder if you'd be willing to share them with us.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just pull them up.
So, while you're pulling them up, what can you share with us about your process for writing those vows? Did you think about them before the day? Did they just flow out of you the day of? How did it go?
No, I did pre-plan. I had taken that weekend before I was working really hard. When I'm on my tours, I'm pretty go, go, go. And so I had made sure to give myself a few days to just, I don't know, be in the essence of me and not have to worry about too much work stuff. And so I just let myself get into the flow, and I pre-wrote some out, and then kind of let whatever came out of me. Some of them were inspired by the book, like just parts of it were inspired by the book Pussy: A Reclamation by Regina Thomas. That's how you pronounce her name? Really great.
Mama Gina?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mama Gina. Highly recommend that book to every woman out there. So yeah, I just was like kind of in the zone. I was staying at a friend's place on her beautiful little patio, and I just zoned in and just let myself write. And
again, the state of flow came through, and I was like, okay, I trust that this is what I need to say to myself when I get married. And that was, I think I prepared them like 2 days before the day.
So you didn't edit them. You just like trusted it, went, and then like read that to yourself.
Yeah. So like there's a lot of like words that get a little bit repeated, but like that's fine.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I wrote, I choose me. I choose from this day on to always promise to love, support, and guide me. To know that I will be here for me. I will not attack or be negative about my choices I make, but I will continue to view all choices and life experiences as a chance to grow, as a chance to practice even more love and connection. I promise to love myself no matter what path I choose, no matter how I decide to live. I will love myself no matter how I look, act, or feel. I will love me no matter what size I am, no matter how hairy I get, no matter if I decide to remove it. I'll love my cellulite, my pain, my fear, and stress. I'll love my beauty, joy, and happiness. I will love my love. I will love and support myself in choosing to love myself by solidifying this love with a ring, for I know what it truly means. I love me for choosing to love myself this much and for knowing that this isn't closing myself off, but on the contrary, I'm actually opening myself up to allow more love into my life. But now I won't conform to gain someone else's love, that I will always shine me exactly how I need to be. And those who understand that will come into my life and love and respect me for me. I will love myself with a beauty that knows that I am enough, that every bit of my being is enough. And even if I have moments where I get taken out, that I know deep down I am enough, that I am always surrounded by endless love, light, and souls who support my love and my growth. I am loved, and I choose to fill my cup and love, support, and guide myself so I can help add even more love to this world. And then I kind of had like separated a little bit and said again, this path has brought me to something that I never dreamed could happen. Creating and following through with this magical celebration for myself and all I've been through, all the magic it brought out in me. This day, this ceremony is for me and the love that surrounds me from my being and the beings above. To be here feeling a sense of my own aliveness and life force. To know that my spirit and body are one, that my enthusiasm is intact, my ability to reach for pleasure is on, to know that I am in my right mind and my highest power, that I am me, full, complete, and whole. So here I am on this magical day, vibrantly alive, beaming with self-acceptance, self-love, and celebration. I feel free and I feel honored. I feel no shame, no wrong, and no right. I just feel here. The beauty of the poetry I've been writing, I see that poetry is me. My whole being is poetry. There is a beauty everywhere in me. I am magic. I am love. I am loved. And I am me. How stunning this whole journey has been. The captivation of realizing the gift in not only this moment, but in all moments. The stunning collateral beauty of death, of life, and of rebirth. I am at peace. Today I flirt with life. I flirt with me. And that's your vows.
As you read it this time, which part felt most alive for you?
I love the end. I love just like I flirt with me. I love that celebration part. There's that, like, yes, you know, it's there's a beauty in all of it for sure. But I just love the concept of just yes, flirt with everything around you. And that doesn't it doesn't have to be what our society tells us to be as like a sensual thing. Just like there's the plant around you. Cool. Flirt with it. Like touch it, embrace it, like hug it, like feel it, like be captivated by the textures in it, like be mesmerized by things around you. Like there's so much to that word that people just instantly put in the box of, oh, you're flirting with somebody. Ooh. And it's like, no, there's so much more to that word.
Mm.
So, yeah, I love that.
Do you have a favorite way of flirting with yourself nowadays?
Um, Textures. I love the texture. Again, I'm going to go back to my body hair, but I love that I was so kind of, I wasn't super weirded out when I first started growing it, but like it is different. You go from having smooth legs to all of a sudden your legs are have hair on them. And now I find myself like I love to just rub my legs and I'm like, oh my God, I'm full of textures. Like there's textures. Like I used to straighten my hair pin straight every single day. And now I'm like, oh, the textures in my curls. Like, how did I ever hate these? Like, how? Like, So I love the textures in me. And I feel like that admiring and being mesmerized by my own textures is something that I really just appreciate. And I feel like that's a great way to flirt because even on Friday, I went out with a couple friends and I actually wore my wedding dress, my flowered one. And I don't wear makeup. And so I don't really wear heels. Like it's like, I don't really embellish myself very often. Um, so it was kind of nice to just have a cute dress on and let myself like put my hair up in a little like ponytail thingy or like put a little flower in my hair. Like, I don't know, just like have fun. It's okay to dress up just because I'm trying to say F it to all of the beauty standards doesn't mean you can't, yeah, embellish yourself, have fun with it. So,
Yeah, I'm remembering something that you said a few minutes ago around I'm not closing myself off to love, to the contrary. And I'm wondering on this side of self marriage, how has it impacted the way you think about love and partnership?
it's I feel like honestly my connection with men has gotten a lot stronger. With people in general, but I feel like I used to always you'd meet somebody and in your head you're instantly like, "Oh, is this going to be the one?" I feel like I've been able to hold a different space for men coming into my life now where they feel a safe space hold like releasing anything on their minds. So a lot of people will bring up like their past traumas that they're working through. And it's allowed me to build friendships with men a lot more, which I love because that to me is opening my heart up even more. It's
Hmm.
not putting them in a box of you need to fill this role to complete me. Like, oh, I know darling, I already complete myself. Which that in itself just allows such a beautiful space for people to share what they really need to share so that they can help bring it to the surface and work through it themselves. But sometimes they need to have a safe space to release that too. So I've just really noticed that the past couple of years, my relationship to men and women too, but men in particular, I feel like I've allowed stronger friendships to solidify in my life. And I haven't really embarked on trying to date because I'm not really there yet. I'm not that I'm not there yet. I'm content right now. If somebody comes along and there's a good connection, like then great, maybe I'll go for it. But there would be that connection of or that conversation of just you don't have to fill me. I would need to almost talk to that person about that because I feel like there's a lot of expectations in relationships where like you have to complete each other. And no, darling, like I got that. And if I need time alone to deal with my stuff, like I'm not pushing you away from it, but I'll vocalize what I need. And if I need somebody to hear me, then I'll vocalize that too. So my communication has gotten a lot stronger with it.
Wonderful. Well, what would you say to someone who's considering self marriage?
To do it.
Snap, snap.
No, but seriously, I feel like it's again because of it's not closing you off. It's people think like, oh, okay, you're marrying yourself. Maybe it's because like you had some horrible situations happen with men in the past, or you're sick of the games in the dating realm, or whatever the case may be. It's like find that connection within you, find that thing that fills your heart. What is the thing that sparks joy in your life? Is it art? Is it singing? Is it dancing? Is it playing? Is it building puzzles? Like, what is it, the thing that captivates you? Is it writing? Is it poetry? Like, there's so many things that can spark that in you. Build that connection within yourself. And even when you get in the state of flow of doing that, I feel like it helps shift so much of that past generational trauma that needs to be brought to the surface for people to have really strong foundations in a relationship because we're blocking down so many people are pushing down all of their stuff without letting it release. And I feel like if more people were just to let themselves play and create in that space, let their traumas surface. It sucks when it does, don't get me wrong, but let it work out and shift out of you and build that foundation within yourself. Marry yourself, and then you know that if you do find a partner, or if that's the route you choose, or if you just literally want to be with yourself, that's totally fine for the rest of your life. But have that solid foundation within yourself, and that's such a concrete staple to just push you forward in anytime that something comes your way that makes you feel like you're not enough. You just like look down at your ring and you're like, Nope, I am. I'm good.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Jev. This has been a total joy to hear more about your philosophy, your self marriage, and the transformation that it's really had on your life. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. And yeah, I feel like more women and or men even in general, just regardless of if you want to marry yourself or not, just to know that that inner work is so important for people to do, and whatever direction you decide to go in, whether it be marrying yourself or not, just love yourself. Just love yourself. Like
Oh,
so deeply love yourself, because people, like everybody, you are loved, you are supported, you are guided from beings above. And I just want more people to kind of embark on that journey of just knowing that they're good enough the way
yeah, come join our self-love community, folks. Our self-marriage community. It's unofficial, but it exists.
it's happening. It's
It's
happening.
happening.